Well, I'm so glad you found your way to the community and communication section of the website. There's some key pieces in here around communication. You're going to see some video examples of that. Co-listening for sure. I highly recommend that you take a look at that. Watch the example. There's a couple of them. So I encourage you to watch the example. That can be really good. There's a couple of different examples, peer-to-peer or a parent to a student, a child. And you might use the inquiry questions we have as part of Brave to start the dialogue sometimes if someone's not sure what they're going to speak about. When you do the co-listening experience, the speaker that has something that they can start from, and then from there they get good at it, and they can just kind of go with the flow of whatever their thoughts are that they're clearing around that day that you might be sitting with them, and build that practice. That co-listening practice really builds some momentum. You'll see over time, the more and more you practice that as the speaker or the listener, it deepens for sure. You get more comfortable with it and it deepens. And then as you get good at that, you're going to be attracted to say, hey, with your buddy or friend or your cousin you haven't seen or whatever, it's kind of a cool thing to say, hey, I want to try something with you, and let them try it and let them experience it. And that's quite a gift. Whole messages, that's another really powerful tool for communication. It can seem a bit contrived in the beginning, when you're speaking to someone and say, when you do this, it makes me feel this, I'm imagining this is happening, and my request of you is this. And yet just look over that, because it starts to inform you in terms of maybe the times you're not doing that. Maybe your communication skills could be fine-tuned a little bit so that you start to deliver things with peers or family members or workmates or whomever in a new way. And again, having done this for a very long time, in the beginning it seems a bit stilted and contrived, but once you get it down, it kind of flows naturally. Along the lines of I statements. That's another really neat section where we talk about it's really hot in here, as opposed to I feel hot. Or, everyone's always saying those things shouldn't be happening. Instead of saying I often say that shouldn't happen. Very different how that feels to communicate as an I statement rather than a vague statement that includes others or some generalization. When you make I statements, very empowering. And again, that starts to be a little bit easier to do over time, and you'll feel the benefit of that. And lastly, another piece is a conscious dialogue, which is definitely a kind of an evolution of co-listening, where now you're actually in a dialogue with someone and you use that tool. They're telling you something and you say back to them, well, what I'm hearing you say is that, have I got that right? And then they say, well, no, I actually meant on Thursday, I'm going to be there from 7 to 9. And then you again repeat back, oh, Thursday you're going to be there from 7 to 9. So that's your time, your commitment. I'm just giving you an example of a conscious dialogue where someone is speaking, someone's listening, and you're reading it back to them. And you're reading it back to them and actually saying, have I got that right? And so it really empowers you to hear correctly what's being communicated. It also empowers and really makes accountable the person speaking to speak clearly and fully and accurately, because the person listening is going to help them recognize that. Okay, so this is cool stuff. Yeah, I'm glad you're exploring this. Please read through the information. Ask us if you have any questions. Enjoy communicating. We all need that. And really it's part of the communication, is really part of the community, because utilizing these communication tools, because they are an intricate part of community. Authentic community happens when we're clearly communicating with others, authentically, honestly, vulnerably even. That's really powerful. Thanks.